Attention please. All Avelo passengers going to Burbank are subject to an anal cavity exam.
Following a fantastic first ever flight aboard Avelo Air, one of the newest airlines in the US, I'm now here in Santa Rosa, California, just north of San Francisco, where I'll be flying up to Seattle, Washington later today aboard Alaska SkyWest. Charles M. Schultz Sonoma County Airport is a small airport serving Santa Rosa and Napa Valley, also known famously as Wine Country. Alaska American United Avelo and soon-to-be AHA Airlines all operate from STS. But this video will focus on the Embraer 175 operated by SkyWest Airlines for Alaska. If you don't know who Charles Schultz is, you certainly will know the Peanuts cartoon. He is the man who created it, and as this airport is named after him, there's hints of the Peanuts everywhere. The terminal here is actually a few separate buildings linked together by sidewalks and ramps, with a nice outdoor picnic area located in between them all, where Emil, Jake, and I hung out till it made sense to pass through security for our flights out of here. As we were right next to the apron, the sights and sounds were aplenty, and we got to see a few of our friends take off for Phoenix on that American E175, the inaugural outbound Avelo flight headed back down to Burbank, this Dassault Falcon 900LX parked out ahead, and Mr. iTrip reports San Diego, Alaska flight arriving in, which was our cue to head to this small security building, as Jake and I's E175 would also be arriving soon. Post-security, we went down this ramp, up this ramp, and entered STS's departures hall, a true sight to behold, equipped with a defunct full drink vending machine that couldn't take any money, a half-empty snacks vending machine, and an almost completely empty second drink vending machine with, let's see, 6 Pepsis up top.
Yep.
Eventually, it was time to board our Seattle flight in a boarding process which consisted of 5 lettered groups, pre-boarders, and first-class passengers after them. I had Group B, which is reserved for MVP members and premium class passengers, although I will not be sitting in premium on this flight. Like Burbank, Santa Rosa also uses air ramps, which for any aviation enthusiast is a huge treat. Our ride today to SeaTac is N400SY, at the time a 3-year-old Embraer 175 that was delivered to SkyWest in June of 2008. Immediately when stepping aboard, it's pretty noticeable there's really nothing special about the interior. It does certainly feel very fresh, but nothing eye-popping. First class up front consists of 12 recliner seats, arranged 2-1 across the cabin, followed by 12 premium class seats and 52 economy seats, for a total of 76 aboard. I'll be here in 11A for the nearly 2-hour journey. The seats on this E175 are of the slimline variety, quite different from Delta's product on SkyWest, so comfort is definitely affected a bit. Armrests are fairly small, but they do have a recline feature, giving you an extra inch or so of back relief. Legroom, though, is more than sufficient in my opinion, especially for a person 6 foot tall, and considering there'll be no one next to me, should be pretty good. On the seat back is a netted pocket below for personal items, the tray table above that, and a literature slot up top holding the safety card and in-flight guide. Overhead bin size is typical of the E175, so are the overhead controls and the windows, which you can always expect to be misaligned, but large.
Hey Cougars, hey Huskies, and everybody else, welcome aboard Alaska Airlines Flight 3301, service to Seattle, operated by SkyWest Airlines. Today's cruising altitude 34,000 feet, a little bit over an hour and 20 minutes. Should be mostly smooth. We just came from Seattle, so we tried to turn the fast seatbelt side off as possible. Our two flight attendants today are Victoria and Debbie with some very important safety information. Please pay attention to their breathing. Welcome aboard, and thank you for wearing your face mask.
As you heard the captain just before takeoff, we'll be climbing up to 34,000 feet today for a flight time of around an hour and a half. Flight attendants began rolling the carts down the aisle very quickly once we were off due to smooth air, so let's open this tray table up and... oh boy, does this thing look dirty. Well, while I clean it up with this United wipe, I should mention its size is not as large as most E175 tray tables, but this one is extendable versus the others that aren't.
Do you take anything in your tea?
Cream and sugar.
Oh, I just had already.
Yeah, I'll take another one.
I'm ahead of myself.
Thank you.
Always generous Alaska handed out today a choice of beverage, a hand sanitizing wipe, and a pack of savory snack mix. I chose some hot tea with cream and sugar, British style. Speaking of which, I may or may not be going back to the Oh, come on! Anyways, back to what I was saying, I may or may not be headed back to the UK very soon, so better start getting used to this deliciousness. All in all, Alaska is pretty consistent in the service department, offering items like hot tea and coffee, along with sodas, juices, and water. Alaska also has free entertainment available, for which I'll show y'all a little later on. Now here's some more views of the West Coast as the sun starts to set. The Alaska SkyWest E175 has two lavatories on board, one in the front and this one in the back, which is always the larger of the two. While it looks just like any other Embraer airplane bathroom, the space is always the thing that stands out to me on these jets. There's absolutely more space in here than on most mainline narrowbodies. The flight today up to Seattle was kinda surprisingly fairly full, with a handful of people getting empty seats next to them. When I got back to my seat, I noticed a flight attendant walking through the cabin, handing out something, and when she passed me, she gave me a small chocolate. Specifically, Alaskan smoked sea salt dark chocolate. And man, was it good. Unfortunately though, not everybody gets this. You have to have some status with Alaska, and with my One World Ruby status, I guess I qualify, with Alaska being part of the One World Alliance. If the passing scenery's not enough for you, Alaska does let you stay connected with planet Earth. When going into settings, click Go in flight, and eventually you'll get to their homepage. Texting is free on iMessage and a few other apps, But if you do want access to the web, it'll cost money. Entertainment such as flight tracker, movies, and TV shows is free as well though, and currently looks like we're just passing by Portland, Oregon. Some broken flight info is located just below the map, and destination weather on another page. Guess I'll get lucky again with no rain in Seattle. Movies and shows are found on here as well. Plenty of content for any flight, especially that under 2 hours, and a wide variety at that. And nope, you do not need to download an app beforehand to watch anything. It'll work on any browser, on any mobile device.
In Seattle too, please bring your seat back and tray tables up. If seated in first class, please unplug devices from seat power.
With that announcement, we've begun our final descent into the Seattle area after what was a very enjoyable flight. If you know me, I'm a big fan of the Pacific Northwest, so the various approaches into SeaTac always catches my attention, especially when passing by the one and the only Mount Rainier on my side, which will be coming up very soon. Well, my conclusion of the Alaska SkyWest E175 is a little mixed, but overall I definitely think it's one of the best experiences you can have on the E-Jet in the US. Starting with soft product, which is service, I'd give Alaska major props as the crew was amazing the entire flight and had a very good drink and snack offering for economy at a time when airlines still hadn't brought everything back yet. Hard product is my biggest quarrel with this plane, specifically the slimness of the seat and lack of any power port. Now typically in the past, no regional jet had outlets of any kind in economy except first class, but recently they've been popping up more and more on other carriers, so I'd definitely like to see them appear on Alaska as well. And as far as that slimness, it may actually benefit legroom, which was great, and is what I've come to expect from this airline. Overall, was an awesome ride with Alaska SkyWest, and while not quite on par with mainline Alaska, as you'll see in my next vid, this certainly is still a very good product. And that'll do it for this video and part 10 in my week of chaos. Next up, if you can probably guess, is an overnight red-eye flight across the country on the same airline. Something I've yet to do, so should be interesting to see how it is. Hope you guys enjoyed, thank you for watching, and catch ya on the next one.